In last few lectures, we have discussed about the various types of micro skills, that is skill of introducing the lesson, skill of blackboard writing, skill of explanation, skill of stimulus variation, skill of reinforcement, skill of illustrating with examples, skill of probing question. And I explained to you all the components related with these skills. Okay, and that are called the micro skills. Okay, the time period of these skills is 5 to 7 minutes, and the number of students are 5 to 7. So that these skills are called as I already explained to you, that these skills are called as the micro skills. Okay, and these are the scale down skills in which we scale down the time, we scale down the peoples. Okay, now our next topic is the macro skills, right? Macro is something like is a broader thing as compared to the micro. Okay, all these micro skills comprises to make a macro lesson. Okay, like when we introduce the topic in the classroom, before by checking the previous knowledge of the student, and after that we have to announce the topic. This is called as skill of introducing the lesson, and after that the presentation skill is used. Okay, we present our content to the classroom, and by doing so we use various methods. In mathematics we use inductive deductive method, analytic synthetic method, activity based method. Okay, problem solving method. These all are the basic methods of which we are using in the classroom. There is another approach. If we are using Herbartian approach, then we use different types of steps. If we are use constructivist approach, that approach means if we are using 5E approach. Okay, we engage the child, we evaluate the child, we elaborate the concept. All that concepts are involved in the 5E approach of lesson planning, right? And after that I use my content, I deliver my content to the classroom. like I my content is the types of the triangle, right? I use inductive deductive method, I use that method to deliver in the classroom. Okay, right? So this is your lesson planning. This is your macro lesson. Okay, as I already explained to you, that there are basically the three phases of the teaching. That is the pre-active phase, after that interactive phase and post-active phase. At pre-active phase you have to plan your lesson, you have to plan your macro lesson, and for that you have to make the strategies, which method you have adopted, by which method you will teach in the classroom. Okay, which method is suitable your content. These all are the plannings. Which type of questions you are asking while delivering your lecture in the classroom, while delivering your content in the classroom. Okay, right? So this stage is called as pre-active stage. This stage is when the teacher is sitting in his or her room and plan the lesson, and after that the interactive phase. In interactive phase he deliver his or her lesson in the classroom, right? Which he or she prepared during the pre-active phase. At interactive phase we are delivering that in the class, and after post-active phase we this is the introspective phase, that we think about the shortcomings, we think about the limitations, we think about the difficulties faced during the interactive phase, right? Okay, now uh, today I have one lesson for you people, for my class, my class of mathematics. Okay, today I am teaching you the concept of cylinder, right? And when you enter in the class, okay, firstly you capturing the class towards your concept, towards yourself, so that they can they can get motivated to involve in your classroom, right? and for that you have to prepare some kind of teaching aid. This is one kind of teaching aid which is called as flashcard. Okay, you can use this flashcard by asking the previous knowledge testing questions, like what is the name of this geometrical figure. Okay, I explained to you the components. You just remember those components while using the skill of introducing the lesson. This is the skill of introducing the lesson, in which we get the responses from the student by asking the previous knowledge testing questions. Okay, you can use any method. You can use storytelling method, you can use daily life method, you can use teaching aid method. This is one of the method that I am using, the flashcard. Okay, this is the flashcard of a circle. I am showing this, you are showing this flashcard to your class and ask students, I have a flashcard in my hand. Look here, look, I have a flashcard in my hand. You just name this the geometrical figure on this flashcard. Okay, and one by one you will get a response from the student tell that this is a circle. Okay, now students, look here, look carefully, what is the radius of this circle? You just point to your class, move your flashcard to the whole class, and the students, and ask one of the students to tell the name, and he will tell that r is the radius of this circle. Okay, right? And after that we are going to the next flashcard, that is this. Okay, and I am asking, you are asking that name this geometrical figure, or tell me the name of this geometrical figure. Okay, okay, students will ask this is a rectangle, right? And now, very good, now tell me what is the length of this rectangle. Here is the length. Okay, you mentioned the length and breadth during the question answering session during the previous knowledge, and student will ask, this is the length, L is the length of this rectangle. Very good, very right. You ask tell the student to give the motivational word to the student, and after that, what is the breadth of this rectangle, and student also explain that. After that, if L is the length and B is the breadth, now please tell me what is the area of this rectangle. Okay, and you will get the response from the student that L into B is the area of this rectangle. Very good. Now I am going with the new geometrical figure. Look here, look here. Okay, okay, all carefully noted down, carefully see what is the name of this geometrical figure, or tell me the name of this geometrical figure. Okay, okay, students will like, this is a cylinder. Okay, now you come to the next question. Students tell me what is the total surface area of this cylinder, or how can we calculate the total surface area of this cylinder at this point. Some students say 2 pi r, some students say even 2 pi r into pi r plus h. Okay, right, they gave the answer. Okay, right, okay, that is not the problem. Okay, you just explain your topic, you just ask the students. Okay, very good, you all gave me very interesting responses, you are very actively involved in the previous knowledge testing. Okay, now I am going to my new topic of today, that is the total surface area of the cylinder, right? How to find the total area of the cylinder. Open your copies and write down the topic. Here the teacher write down the topic on the blackboard, right? Total surface area of the cylinder, right? Now, okay, now student, after accepting the responses of the students in the previous knowledge testing, we are coming to the next phase, or after announcing the topic, the teacher will come to the next phase, that is the presentation phase. At this stage, the teacher present by using a well prepared model. I have a model of a cylinder, model of a cylinder. Okay, this cylinder has three parts: the upper part, okay, the upper part, the lower part, and the third one is this hollow pipe. Okay, write down. And we have to calculate the area of all these three parts to calculate the area, total surface area of the cylinder. Now, as this is cylinder containing three parts: circle, circle, and hollow pipe. Okay, now firstly I am calculating the area of the first part. This is the first part of the cylinder, this is the upper part of the cylinder, this is the circle. And as we know that, you all know that students, what is the area of this circle? Pi r square. Okay, right, pi r square is the area. So write down, what is the area of first part, what is the area of first part of cylinder. This is equal to pi r square. This is equation number 1, right? Pi r square. This is equation number 1. Okay, right? And after that I have to calculate the area of the second figure. Area of the second figure, this one, this one, this one. Okay, this is also a circle. So the area of second part is equal to pi r square, right? Now we are left with the third part, this part. Okay, this part is a hollow pipe. And how to calculate the area of this cylinder? Anybody, you ask the question from the student that how to calculate the area of this hollow pipe, right? Okay, now at that moment you call one student and ask him to cut this cylinder from this point. And after cutting the cylinder from this side, we will get this type of geometrical figure. And you ask the students that tell me the shape of this geometrical figure. Okay, one student tell that this is a rectangle. Now tell me the length of this rectangle. At that moment some students are feel confusion. Okay, some told that, sir, there is no length and no breadth mentioned on this sheet. Okay, don't worry, I am explaining you about this concept. Okay, now look here, this is the length and this is the breadth of this rectangle. But actually what is the length we are measuring? This is a cylinder, and by opening this cylinder, look here, by opening this cylinder, the length becomes the breadth, length becomes the circumference of this circle, and what is the circumference of the circle, students? They will answer that question that sir, 2 pi r. Okay, right. And now this is the height of this cylinder, and which is the breadth of this cylinder. So what is the breadth of this rectangle? That is the height of the cylinder. And what is the height of the cylinder? This is called as h. H is the height of the cylinder. So if length is the breadth of this rectangle and h is the height or breadth of this rectangle, what is the area of this rectangle? Tell me the area of this rectangle. So the area of this rectangle is, you are asking from the student. Okay, the area of this rectangle of third part is, what is the area of third part? Third part is, this is equal to 2 pi r into h. this is equal to 2 pi r h. This is third term. And after adding all the three parts, when we add this cylinder, when we add this, join this cylinder or add the three parts, a cylinder is formed. And when we add these three parts, we will get the area of this cylinder, which is equal to pi r square plus pi r square plus 2 pi r h. This is equal to 2 pi r into r plus h. And what is the total surface area of the cylinder? The total surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi r into r plus h. So students, now here you generalize the concept. Okay, so students, today we have learned about the total surface area of the cylinder, which is equal to 2 pi r into r plus h. Both theoretically as well as practically we can explain, we can learn about how to calculate the area of the cylinder. Okay, this is all about the area. And after that, there is the next step of recapitulation. You recapitulate the topic. Okay students, now it's time to check the knowledge and understanding of the concept. You all are requested to close your copies, right? And I am asking you some type of question. Okay, and here you ask the question that are new, those questions which are related to the content taught. Okay, you taught the content, you ask the question about after opening the cylinder, how many geometrical figures are formed. Okay, what is the shape of the upper part of the cylinder, what is the shape of the lower part of the cylinder, name the shape of the third part of the cylinder. Okay, after calculating or after joining all the three parts, please tell me what is the area of total surface area of the cylinder, what we calculated, what we have calculated. Okay, the student ask. Okay, very well done, very well done. Now students, open your copies. I am giving you very interesting and very effective homework for you people, or for your okay, right? And after that you gave the homework to the student. This is the normal method of teaching which I adopted. This is the inductive method, or this is the activity based. Basically this is the activity based method. I perform some kind of activity. This is the activity based method. If you perform any kind of activity in the classroom, you just write down in your copies in the method section that this is the activity based method of teaching. When you give examples to the students, you use inductive based method, deductive based method. Okay, right? For example, I am using in the classroom a triangle, different types of triangle. Okay, I check the previous knowledge of the students by giving some kind of by using some kind of teaching aids. After that, in presentation, I use one stick. Okay, one stick, and ask the student to measure that stick. One student come and measure that stick, and I paste it on the blackboard or any other material. Similarly, the second student come and measure the second stick. The third student come and measure the second stick. I ask all the three students that what is the length measurement of these three sticks. They told me that all the three sticks are of 5 centimeter. And here I explain. Before examples, I came to the conclusion, that I came to the principle that if a triangle whose all the sides are equal is called as equilateral triangle. This is the dual method of system. I gave examples. Similarly, I performed some kind of activity. Here two types of methods are involved. One is inductive method and another is activity based method. So hope you all enjoyed this method. That is the method of preparing your macro lesson in the classroom before entering the classroom, right? And hope you all enjoy, and you are all welcome to ask me any kind of question related to your content and macro lesson. Thank you very much.